Good evening. It's Monday, the 4th of December. I remember in January we said it was going to be a fast year, but I had no idea it was going to be this fast. I'm really happy that you're tuning in this evening because we're going to be taking a look at the age old question: what difference does it matter who I vote for? Republicans and Democrats are all the same. Well, I have another take on that, and that's the subject of tonight's Hamilton Report. I'm very happy that you're with us this evening. I was speaking with our chair, Alicia Andrews, earlier today, and we both were just really humbled by the number of people who watch her broadcast every afternoon at 4:15 on YouTube and Facebook, and for those of you who tune in to this broadcast each Monday evening. It's very gratifying to know that you are here, you're listening, and hopefully learning and maybe even being a bit entertained. Because the more of us who are aware of really what's going on, the better it is for all of us. Well, it's December. That means lots and lots of holidays this month, including Christmas. This is the time of year when politicians love to tell us what great Christian folks they are. And let's start with perhaps the one with the least evidence to prove that sentiment.
I brought my Bible. Somebody said to me the other day, "You're the most famous person in the world by far." I said, "No, I'm not. No, I'm not." They said, "Yes, you are." I said, "No." They said, "Who's more famous?" I said, "Jesus Christ."
I'm wondering what one or two of your most favorite Bible verses are and why.
I wouldn't want to get into it.
How has your faith grown since you decided in 2015 to run for president?
I had a wonderful life before all this.
Where do you draw your strength from? We're talking about faith.
I have the highest poll numbers.
I'm Presbyterian. Boy.
And during the Sundays, I'm a Sunday church person. I like to do the right thing where I don't have to actually ask for forgiveness. And when I drink my little wine, which is about the only wine I drink, and have my little cracker. Drink the wine, I eat the cracker. I can understand the evangelicals to a certain extent saying, well, maybe he's not as nice as we want him to be, but maybe he's not as perfect on the Bible. I get sent Bibles by a lot of people.
Where are all those Bibles anyhow now?
Well, actually, we keep them in a certain place, a very, very nice place.
Nothing beats the Bible, not even the art of the deal.
I am the chosen one.
Jesus Christ. I brought my Bible.
Jesus Christ is right. You can't make this up, folks. You cannot make this up. But what's the difference between Republicans and Democrats? My guess is very strong that you have had this conversation with a friend, a loved one, a coworker. I'm not even going to vote because it doesn't matter who I vote for. Republicans and Democrats, they're all the same. Well, we have an opportunity right now to demonstrate that that is just not the case. While Republicans in Congress continue chasing their tails and talking about reasons to impeach the president, they are not doing much of anything else. Our senior senator from Oklahoma, who I will not name, I'll just say he's a former pastor from a church camp in southern Oklahoma, but he rails daily about what he calls Biden's border crisis. This is not a crisis of the president. This is a crisis of a Congress who refuses to write legislation for comprehensive immigration reform. This is not something where we just close off the border or, like Trump says he will do, is just kick out all the Muslims from this country. This is a time to be thoughtful and purposeful in what we do in terms of immigration, Because let's face it, this country without immigrants would not be as strong as it is today. I'm not talking about those of us who have been here for generations and generations. I'm talking about newer Americans who are filling jobs that other people just don't want. And so the strength of our nation has always been its people. And to claim that this is a crisis of the president's making is simply, it's insane is what it is. I was going to say it's inaccurate. It's worse than that. It's just just this ongoing topic that never ends. I'll be the first one to say we have got to do something to impact immigration into this country. But it doesn't mean we stop everything. It means that we have to really start to look at how we treat other human beings. And some of the things that we've seen, the way that people have been treated, the way that people are treated is inhumane. But that's just one instance. Immigration is something that he keeps going to, and now Burkine keeps going to the same thing. And Lord only knows what Marky Mark is up to, who he's fighting now on the Senate floor. These are things that Democrats are not doing. Am I saying that we have a perfect lot in Washington? No, I am not. And I'm not saying we have a perfect lot anywhere. But I will say that when it comes to taking care of the American people, we can do better. And it's the Democrats at this point in history who are leading that way. This is not surprising coming from me because of my role with the Oklahoma Democratic Party. I am a cheerleader for Democrats everywhere in the country, on every ballot, in every community. But it goes beyond that. It goes beyond me caring about other people. And these are the things that good thinking folks, it doesn't matter Republican, unaffiliated, or Democrat. We have good people everywhere, and it's time for us to just lay down the hatchets, quit throwing them at one another. Because if we are to press forward and to save our democracy, we've got to get through this logjam which says us versus them, right versus wrong. There are opportunities for us to work together. Eric, thank you so much for saying this. We are humans who belong to the same tribe. And that is so very true. We have to think in terms less of party affiliation and more about the ideals that a person holds. If they are concerned about the welfare of all people, I don't care if they're a Democrat or a Republican, as long as that's a truthful pursuit. I'm looking forward to Liz Cheney's book. It comes out tomorrow, and I've already been gifted that book. So tomorrow, as soon as it's available, I will be downloading it, because this is an example of someone I can disagree with vehemently on policy issues. But what she has done makes me proud of her service for her, because she is calling things like she sees them. She has really pulled back the curtain and shown us a lot of what is happening to, for, and sadly against the people of our country. I wonder who will be reading that book. Will it be a bunch of progressive folks, or will other people see that as an opportunity to learn and read as well? I don't know. But I do know that Marjorie Taylor Greene's book is, last I checked, in terms of the bestsellers on Amazon, it was, I think, number 8,937. So it's not doing too well. And I can't say I'm sorry about that. We need truth. We need truth in politics. We need truth in our lives. We need truth. But speaking of truth, or a lack thereof, I'm going to bring this home for a moment to Oklahoma. our superintendent of public instruction, and you all know how much I do not like this man. Not as a person, I have never met him, but for the policies that he has instituted, the way that he is helping enrich rich families and making it more difficult for struggling families to educate their children in a good way. He was able to sell his school voucher scheme, and it is a scheme. That's all it ever was. That's all it will ever be. But his eyes are set on the largest school district in Oklahoma, which is Tulsa County Public Schools. Sadly, he is using them as a whipping boy, and he believes that he will be able to take over that entire system in Tulsa. And if that's the case, then you know that's his plan for smaller communities as well. So I'm thinking we've got to pay attention to everything all the time. And I know that that seems impossible. But as Maya Angelou said, when someone shows you who they are, believe them. Because what we have here is someone who is so tightly aligned with Moms for Liberty, and which is laughable. They're for anything except liberty for Americans. That he is going to be their guest speaker at their Christmas party in Tulsa. This is a group that knowingly hires people that it shouldn't hire. Convicted sex offender in Philadelphia. And now we find out that one of the co-founders who is married to the chair of the Florida GOP party. They've been having a threesome for a very long time, and it went awry. The man in question threatened and was arrested for sexual abuse of 2 women, including this Moms for Liberty person. Now, these are the same people stripping our school libraries, not only of LGBT books, but even books that are written by LGBTQ authors. And I guess that means we're going all the way back and eliminating Shakespeare. Well, some schools have done that already. And I am very, very, very concerned that people with this level of morality or lack thereof are trying to regulate the morality of others. Eric, the answer is yes. It was an actual 3-way, except it wasn't a one-off. This was an ongoing relationship between these 3 people. Consenting adults, do what you want. I don't care. I don't think about your bedroom habits, and I hope you don't think about mine. But I will tell you this. For somebody who claims to be so morally superior to everyone else, that they are dogging teachers unions, and being truly harmful to our school kids in Oklahoma and around the country. This little grassroots organization that, come to find out, is not grassroots. It was funded by 2 very wealthy people last year to the tune of over $2 million. Well, they have turned off comments on their Facebook page, and I can't imagine why after that news broke. But this is something that we haven't been reading about in the daily newspapers. That's why I appreciated Eric's question a moment ago. Is this true? Actually, yes, it is true. This should be what's grabbing headlines. And in fact, it's not. As I said, do what you will. You're consenting adults. I don't care. But I don't want you telling me what books should be available in my public library or in our school libraries. That's what we have educated folks employed by school systems to do. Librarians are no joke. They are some of the most unsung heroes in our world today. When I moved to New York, this was way before Google. If you had a question, you could call the New York Public Library, and you could ask your question, and a librarian would go research it, come back to the phone, and give you the answer. It didn't matter how obscure it was. How long was Andrew Johnson president? Or who was Grover Cleveland's vice president? They would go and find that for you, come back, give you the information. Well, librarians today don't have to go through all that, but they are an extraordinary resource for our communities. Free libraries remain one of the greatest things about our country. But when they start banning books, that's no longer freedom. That is no longer freedom for you, for me, for our children. And, you know, I'm just frustrated is what I am. When people say there's no difference between politicians, they're politicians, they're all liars, they're all thieves. I disagree with that. I know some very hardworking, dedicated women and men who are serving in the Oklahoma legislature, in legislatures, frankly, in many states around the country. People that I admire from a distance because of their commitment to really making things better. Are things as good as I wish they could be? No. But then I want utopia for everyone. I want everyone happy and fed and housed. Yeah, I guess it's true. I'm a bleeding heart liberal, but I don't think that that makes me so different than most of us. We want the best for our families. We want the best for our communities. And so when we say, I'm not going to vote, it doesn't matter. Believe me, every single vote matters. There was a sheriff elected in Louisiana, I believe. And that election came down to one vote. One vote is all that separated the winner from the loser. We all think broadly about the presidential primary, and that will be sharply our focus next year. It will be for everyone. And Brandon, thank you. Brandon, who is running for Congress in Oklahoma's 2nd Congressional District, thank you for tuning in. And he's saying, yes, it does matter. It does matter. Every single vote matters. And Eric, we have the left, we have the middle, and the right to make our system work. Yes, we do. That's why the founding fathers of our country saw fit to create checks and balances. And it's when we don't use those properly that things become awry. It's true in a relationship. It's true in a marriage. You have to support one another. You have to keep each other balanced and make sure that things are not tilting one way or the other, because when they do tilt too far, we all wind up at risk. It might mean a little risk, or it could mean a great big one. We have so many people today who are just done with politics. Now, this is my job, but it's also my life. I jokingly told my husband not too long ago, I said, well, when I retire, I'm not going to watch news for a month. And he laughed and he said, you know that that's a lie. And I had to admit that he was right, because I am a news junkie. I wasn't always, but the older I get, the more important it is for me to understand what other people are thinking, what other people are saying, and what other people are doing. In Oklahoma, we have such a lopsided electorate. We have far more Republicans registered in Oklahoma than we have Democrats. But the interesting thing is, Republicans don't vote in any higher percentages than Democrats. Oklahoma is frankly just a very low voting state. So that means that we can kick into this a lot more of our own efforts by supporting one candidate, by supporting two candidates and I think that's not just money. And Brandon, I think that you would agree with this. We need people who will knock doors, who will make phone calls, who will write postcards that say, this is what I believe in. This is why I am supporting this candidate. I'm sorry, I'm laughing at Eric's comment. Yes, you were. Even in school, you were on top of the events, and so it's been a long time coming that that I've been a news junkie. But the news isn't all bad, and that's what I want us to think about. Because as dire as things may seem at times, we still live in a representative democracy where we still vote and our votes count. Despite all of the efforts to overturn the last election, every single court ruled in favor of the American people. That's something to celebrate right there. It doesn't mean, though, that we stop and celebrate and go back to our business. It means we continue looking forward. I am not a parent, and I'm not a grandparent, but I have nieces and nephews. I have Black nieces and nephews. I have Hispanic nieces and nephews. I have a beautiful, beautiful range of folks in my family. And I want all of them to grow up with opportunities that I've had and more. I want better for them than I've had myself, and I've had a good life. And so as we move from this year into next, I want you to be very careful, because I will be, in listening to what people say. Because frankly, the last president has already told us everything that he will do should he return to the White House. And frankly, it terrifies me. I believe in our democracy. I believe that we continue to play a pivotal role in democracies around the world. That's why people come here to learn, to study our own way of governance, so that they may one day have that in their own homelands. So no, it's not all doom and gloom, friends. It's really not. Instead, there is an opportunity for us to encourage our friends and neighbors to vote. And when you hear someone say, no, I'm giving up, I'm not voting anymore, don't give up on that person. Explain to them that no, we're not all the same. Democrats in Oklahoma believe in many things, many rights, many advances, but the three pillars of what we believe are good quality, affordable health care, no matter what your zip code is. We believe in high quality public education for every child, no matter where in the state you live. And we believe in economic opportunities, good jobs, well-paying jobs that can support an individual, a couple, a family. That's not too much to ask. There's an initiative petition that's about to be underway to raise the minimum wage in Oklahoma. We have to pay attention to what our neighbors need. This is an important post here. Thank you, Nikki. Getting folks to vote is one battle. The bigger one is making them educated voters in a state that's damn near last in everything. And that's true. That's true. We have to educate folks on the reasons why it's important to vote, and vote for your interests. Vote for the interests of your family. We can't remain a society that is so polarized like we are right now. We have so many people on the right and on the left, and a whole bunch of folks in the middle. So there's someone that you can find to support. There's a conservative Democrat. There's a middle of the road Democrat. Maybe you'll even find a Republican that cares a lot about people and decide to vote for them. The main thing is that we have got to support one another in the effort to know when to vote, know where to vote, and know who we're voting for. along with what we're voting for. Next year is going to see election. It's going to seem, frankly, like there's an election every month between the primaries, municipal races, county races. We are all, every single one of our congressional reps is up for re-election. So it's going to be a busy year. I'm asking you to commit with me to taking the time to learn about our candidates, all of the candidates, because there are good things happening in our country. The price of gas is something that we all feel every day. When it's high, the president gets blamed. When it's low, no one says a word. It doesn't matter who the president is. The president does not control gas prices. Yes, I'm very grateful that I was able to fill up my car last week for $34. That was the bargain that I've been waiting for. But that's not why I'm supporting President Biden, and that's not reason enough for anyone to support one candidate over another. But we've got to believe in something, and that something is not necessarily a politician, but it is the people of our country. And if we commit to educating others about why we vote, why we're voting for someone, what we want in our communities, and I keep bringing it back to communities because you've heard me say this before. Alicia Andrews says this almost every day. It's those local elections that affect our lives more than anything else, because these are the same people that travel the same roads as you, who go to your grocery store, people that you see in church or at a club. These are all people who live where you live. And so they most directly impact your life. Where's the best place to go to learn about candidates platform? Like, is there a singular forum to go and view all candidates and their visions, intentions? No, there's not, Nikki, not in Oklahoma. But I can tell you, we will be announcing this Thursday, everyone who will be on the presidential ballot in Oklahoma. And we have done a great job in recruiting. We are still recruiting people to run for office next year, but we've got some great candidates already. We will be putting all of those on our website. They're all Democrats, of course, but we'll be putting on our website the things that they believe in, the things they're concerned about, and the things that they're committed to. And so with that, we're just about out of time. But I want to leave you with something hopeful, and that is the work that is being done on behalf of the American people. And I'm going to show you this last clip, and then I'll be back right after this.
There hasn't been a positive thing happen in this administration since it came about.
Now, Teddy Roosevelt had the Square Deal. FDR had the New Deal. Truman had the Fair Deal. What President Biden, Democrats, all of us have accomplished in the last few years is a big deal.
Results matter. Inflation now is down to 3.2%. Wages are up to 4.4%. The economy is booming, 5.2% GDP growth in the last quarter.
With a gallon of gas now at the lowest Thanksgiving price since 2020, prices for gasoline down 9 straight weeks.
By so many measures, the economy is in good shape. Unemployment near 50-year lows. Wages going up. The economy, it is growing. Inflation, it is slowing.
Because of the CHIPS and Science Act, one of the most significant economic plans since FDR. I'm proud of the work Biden and Harris have done.
President Biden and his team worked 24/7 with partners in the region to make sure that this release was possible. This is a president who is right now showing the American people what real leadership looks like.
It's amazing how many times in his career Joe Biden has been counted out, only to come back and prove the critics wrong.
That excites me. That excites me that we've got some positive energy that is flowing. And I think that we will find this coming year that we have people right here in Oklahoma who were born here or who moved here who care about the good things that we can provide for one another. There's a lot. There's a lot to consider. And this is the time for all of us to get busy. I want to thank all of you who commented tonight. I'm sorry I didn't get to all of your comments, but Mitch, thank you for tuning in. It's always good to have you, and good to see your comments. Eric, it's great to have you back. I appreciate you. And Nikki, thank you for always adding to the conversation. Brandon, I'm wishing you all the best in your campaign, and know that I will be here to support you every step of the way. And that's true of everyone running for office on the Democratic ticket in the state of Oklahoma. Friends, thank you again for tuning in tonight. It is a true joy to spend this time with you each Monday evening, and I count on that, and I appreciate you. Tomorrow evening, I will be in Alva in way up north, but if you live in the Woods County area, I hope that you will join us tomorrow evening. And on Wednesday, our chair will be in Chickasha, as Grady County has done a great job in reorganizing, and we're thrilled to celebrate with them. But until then, Alicia will be here every day at 4:15 with her daily updates. And I'll see you again next Monday evening right here on the Hamilton Report. Please take good care of yourself. On behalf of all of us at the Democratic Party, I'm Scott J. Hamilton. Good night.